is it now?
Wow. That doesn't make any sense.
There is shock and surprise from Nashville homeowners tonight. They bought their homes thinking they were at no risk for flooding, but maps obtained by News4 Investigate shows a very different reality tonight.
In our latest findings in our Troubled Waters investigation, Chief Investigative Reporter Jeremy Finley identified places in the city that are now deemed at a higher risk for flooding.
Well, that's right. News4 Investigates found dozens of places in the city where floodplains have been newly identified. Tonight, we're going to show you how you can find out if you're now in one yourself.
Last March's flood in Creve Hall not only damaged Ashley Nussmeyer's crawl space.
We had to get all new ductwork, $4,000, $5,000 worth of ductwork.
And none of it was covered. She doesn't have flood insurance because her home of 9 years wasn't in a floodplain, which is why she had this reaction to what News4 Investigates had to tell her.
They actually determined you're now in a floodplain.
Oh, wow. That's news to me. I did not know that.
Take a look at the last flood map from 2017. Here's her street, and you can see how far away the closest floodplain is. But News4 Investigates obtained 80 pending flood maps in the city. And look, her entire property is now in a floodplain.
It goes all this way.
Oh my gosh. I mean, completely unexpected when there's not been any flooding other than, that one flood.
And she's not the only homeowner who's going to be surprised by these maps. Take a look from Drone 4. Every house on this section of street with a creek behind it is now considered to be in a floodplain. Follow over to Berrywood Drive, and nearly every house here is also mapped to be in a floodplain.
Well, I'm shocked, and I think, it doesn't make any sense because this isn't an area that floods often.
So why is this just now happening? These areas have never been studied before.
Have these people always been in floodplains and they just never knew it?
Correct. Just because they've lived there and it's never flooded doesn't mean it doesn't have a chance of flooding.
Because the new maps concentrate on areas around creeks and streams, they are all over the county. But we found many of the new floodplains surround 7 Mile Creek and the streams on the fringes of the county. And if people have houses with mortgages in these floodplains?
Unfortunately, I believe it means you have to buy flood insurance now.
Really?
We've simply helped identify risks for people, and now those people have an opportunity to mitigate that risk.
So, Jeremy, a lot of these homeowners are surprised. Tell me, how many homes are we talking about here that are now in the floodplain?
Well, Marius, once these new maps are adopted next month, Metro is going to then send out notices to all the people who are impacted. That is when we will find out just how many people will now have to get flood insurance. So you're probably wondering right now if you're in a floodplain. Well, right now on our app, we're going to take you to the website so you can put in your address and see if you are now in a flood zone. We will give you instructions of how you can do this. Just go there right now and you'll see. Marius?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are heading to the website right now. Well, if there's anything you want Jeremy or the rest of our Investigates team to look into, here's their contact information. You can also fill out a form on our website.